So the next testimony from the expert yesterday from Cellibrite had to do with steps and stairs from the health app on the Apple phone, John's Apple phone. He showed in great detail and he overlapped location services, showing when the steps occurred, what radius the phone could be pinpointed to, depending on what service it's using, what apps it's using, where it's pulling the location data from. All makes a huge difference in the accuracy. So if it's using GPS, like when they were driving home and he had Waze open, it's about a 5-meter level of accuracy. So there's a 5-meter circle and the phone could be anywhere in there. At other times, it's pulling data most likely from cell phone towers about location, or Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, various other things he talked about, in which case it ends up being much less precise and could be 12 meters circle to miles, depending on what's happening and how long it has taken the phone, or the phone has tried to pinpoint the location. It gets better as it continues to try to pinpoint the location with a new method of pinpointing location. He was able to show through location data and match to the help data that many of the steps, and particularly the stairs that show up on the phone, are actually occurring in the car. And that's him holding the phone most likely, and the subtle jostling of the vehicle as it moves is causing steps most likely to be registered. That's this guy's testimony. And it looks pretty accurate when it's paired up with the location data when they're moving in the car. It's a very, very narrow range the phone could be in, and it's pretty clear, if assuming there's accurate timestamps, which generally phones are pretty good about. He was in the car for most of those steps and stairs and stuff like that, which I think is trying to close loops for the defense, or arguments for the defense, about him going into the house and those steps being going up and down the stairs in the house, things like that. Of course, that doesn't have to be excluding him going into the house. It just shows those stairs on the phone appear to have happened in the car. He then talked about location services. Once they're parked in front of Fairview, it strongly suggests they're parked down by the flagpole instead of up by the driveway. Location services shows John's phone essentially being around the flagpole all the time. And then depends on what level of location services it's using. It shows when they're narrower, it's always around the flagpole. Now, some of those are 10 meters, 20 meters, 12 meters, and they absolutely can incorporate part of the house as where the phone could be at that time. A few of the location services where they were less accurate showed huge ranges, and I think what's most interesting about that, those less accurate ones, a lot of them, Fairview, where the phone definitely was, is outside of the circle. So they didn't spend any time talking about that. I mean, theoretically, that could be a result of the less accurate data being used, but then that's supposedly why they have like a 12-mile radius, and it's supposed to still be in that radius. But undoubtedly, the phone was out of that radius for some of those readings, which begs the question, or raises the question more accurately, what is the percentage of time, or how often can the phone be outside of one of those circles, and which location services have different probabilities for that? Is it related to how accurate it is? If it's a 12-meter accuracy, can be outside of that circle, and does the 12-meter accuracy have anything to do with how far outside the circle you might be able to go? We didn't get any answers like that. They didn't really even address why or how on these large location services the phone would be outside the circle entirely. Hopefully we get some answers, or at least some discussion about that on cross-examination or on direct with defense experts down the road. Right now, that's just sort of an unanswered question. I don't think the evidence presented excludes him going into the house. Some of the movement that occurred, there were steps that occurred clearly after they had parked. There were like 32 steps up to 25 meters, which certainly could take him into the house. But it doesn't exclude him going into the house. It doesn't mean he automatically stayed by the flagpole. It is very interesting testimony. I think it hurts some defense theories from the last case, but it doesn't prevent their basic theory. I think my question is going to be more about how they incorporate this data into their theory. They seemed pretty confident about doing so in opening statement, and it doesn't seem impossible to me. So I'm eager to find out what their arguments are about that.